and are not endorsed by this station. Opinions expressed are not necessarily those of radio station KMET, its management, employees, or affiliates.
But they might be.
What's happening, football fans? It is time to steer the line.
Touchdown!
With your host, Loud Esmond and Jeremy James. For the best takes in NFL and football betting, fantasy football, and the latest news, get ready to steer the line.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another segment of Steer the Line. I'm your host, Christian Giordani. I have Mr. Loud Esmond, Jeremy James, and Rocky Giordani with me. And before we get into anything, I just want to talk about two things first and foremost. Last Thursday night, Damar Hamlin suffered a cardiac arrest in Cincinnati, and it looks like he's going to make a full recovery. Monday night, apologies. It looks like he's going to make a full recovery. He finally woke up. He got the breathing tube removed out of his mouth today. He spoke with the Bills players during FaceTime during their practice. And I just want to say thank you to everyone for all their thoughts and prayers that went to Damar Hamlin and his mother and his family and everyone who was praying for them. I'm nothing short of a miracle that just happened today. And the best outcome comes that it looks like he's going to come back to exactly where he was before. No lingering effects as far as we know. So God bless to Damar Hamlin and his family. And one more thing, I know Rocky wanted to say something quick on it first. Rocky?
Oh, yeah. Listen, man, look, it's a terrible tragedy. We were all there. Every one of us has ever strapped on a pair of cleats knows what we risk. We take the field. We do it for the love of the game. Damar did it for the love of the game. And if he can't believe if he can't come back, he will be back. There's something else. I mean, this is an N.F.L. show, but we're human beings. There's something that's really important. Less than 30 seconds, guys. Look. A rash harm benefit assessment is required during all the COVID-19 years, all right? During many vaccinations.
Oh, no.
We're losing.
Oh,
We're
no,
losing
you
Rocky.
are not going political on me here.
We're losing
No,
Rocky.
I'm not going political. These are football stats. Football stats. You listen to me?
Yes.
January 2021,
Yeah, we're
at the time of Devin's resignation, there were 1,599 athletes who've had heart attacks on the field. Right? That was from January 21 till today, right? In two years period. In contrast, when 1,101 of them died, the last time that happened, it took 38 years between 66 and 2004 for 1,100 athletes to have cardiac arrest.
Okay. So
And now we have a.
I don't want to get into the vaccine thing. I just don't, Rocky. I appreciate your perspective on it, but I'm not going there. I'm not going there. Joining us here on the show, we have the owner of the Ontario Fury, which, if you haven't seen an indoor soccer league game like they play, the Ontario Fury, it's much faster moving than the soccer that I make fun of in terms of the World Cup, where, it can be like watching paint dry in some games. It's a really fast moving sport and a lot of fun if you've ever had a chance to see one of these games live. And he's joining us for a very special purpose, which is he's a big Horned Frogs fan. And in fact, Mr. Burham, you were at game, Michigan TCU. What was that like? That atmosphere must have been electric.
No one expected the little school from Fort Worth, Texas, to be able to handle, obviously, that Michigan front line. And that first half, candidly, they dominated so much that when the game got really good in the fourth quarter, you were praying that little Cinderella team wouldn't give it up at the end. But they controlled that game from beginning to end. And it's just, to me, it's a lot of inspiration for a lot of small schools around this country. These little 10,000 person schools can compete against these powerhouse football clubs with the right personnel and the right coaching.
That's great.
And how did you become a TCU Horned Frogs fan?
My daughter's a freshman there, Lou. And
how did you end up being Okay, there you go. Okay.
See, my daughter's a freshman. I went to this little school out here called Claremont. You go to little schools like Claremont, you really don't follow college football. My first reason my son went to UCR, the first time I really got a chance to follow college football was this past year. And, and obviously it's been, one of those miraculous seasons where I started going out there for Parents' Day opening weekend, and we went back. And so I've been to a half dozen other games this year, and we're going to the championship game at SoFi on Monday. And, it's incredible. My daughter wouldn't watch. I grew up a Washington Redskins fan. And no one ever wanted to watch football with me, even my son. So now my daughter in freshman year of college is learning the rules of football, and she's watching something special happen on the field. They got some pretty special kids on that team. Max Dugan, Quentin Johnson's going to be a first round top 10 pick. They got some pretty good talent, but it's still a big school versus little school, David versus Goliath. So I'm really excited to see what happens on Monday. I'm really hoping it's going to be a good game for all the viewers, like this last couple, both semifinals games were.
Yeah, one thing I want to say with you, I'm a
thought
Horned Frogs fan
Yeah.
as well. I was a Horned Frogs fan when I was a kid, 13 years old. I saw them
What was a
steal
name
a
like
base.
Christian?
I saw them steal home base in the College
With a name
Baseball
like
World
Chris
Series, and I
Right.
became a diehard fan since then. So I'm with you. Go
Well,
ahead, Loud.
And then that quarterback, Max Duggan, I know Jeremy is a huge Raiders fan. They're going to need a quarterback. And what do you think about Max Duggan as a quarterback, Jeff? I think he's a better prospect, honestly, than Bryce Young or the Ohio State quarterback, C.J. Stroud, because both those guys are only about 6'1", less than 200 pounds. Duggan's like 6'3.5", 225, 230, can run with power like Josh Allen. I love his game. What do you think of him at the next level?
Well, I'll tell you what, Lou, as a professional sports owner, you have physical attributes that you try to compare people with. But let me tell you the story that I've told my own soccer players this season when I've moved them out of the starting lineup to the second, third line. I said this young man, Max Duggan at TCU, that just was up and lost for the Heisman Trophy, was a 3-year starter, got benched, to, I think a second-year player on the team that was starting quarterback, gets hurt. But through that process, he didn't give up. He told his coach he was going to be the best backup in the country. If that was his role, he was going to be there for the team. He'd be in the reps during practice, and if he ever got his chance, he'd fill in the best opportunity, best chance he ever had. The attitude, the mental attitude of that kid makes him better than those other players to me. It's the commitment. It's the work ethic. When it goes to the next level, you've got to have the mindset, right? You've got to have the professional mindset that you're going to sit and wait for your opportunity, and you're going to learn every chance you get from others that are around you. And that kid's got that mindset. He's got a winning attitude. He's a winning personality. And I think he's got the physical attributes to be able to play at the next level.
All right, there you go, Jeremy. Maybe Max Duggan to the Raiders in the second or third round of the draft next year. All right, so let me just wrap this up here because we got to move on to our NFL stuff. But Jeff, it's 12.5 points. 12.5 points. Georgia is favored by. I'm going to go around here and start with Rocky. Lightning round, Rocky. TCU, win, lose, or cover.
They cover. My heart's with TCU. Hope they can win. Christian was actually going to play baseball there. He got screwed over by the COVID thing.
We'll brings it up almost all the time.
Anyway, so TCU go Horned Frogs, man. Yeah. They cover.
Christian?
They flat out win.
Do they win? Do they cover?
Flat out
they win. Okay, you're calling for the upset. Jeremy, you're going to take a pass, right? Because you don't know a Horned Frog from a Wolverine from a Bulldog. Yeah, got it. Jeff, I know where you are. Do you believe the Horned Frogs can win this game?
Listen, I wasn't sure, and I wasn't confident the Horned Frogs would stay in the game against Michigan, and it really came down to the defensive line stopping that big Michigan offensive line, and those boys were motivated. They have the belief they can win this game. So when you have a team that believes they can win, when they have the monkey off their back, that they're not undefeated, I think they're going into this game with an edge. So let me tell you, not only do I think they can win the game, I really believe they're going to win the game, and I'm betting a boatload and teasing them to the over. So,
got it, boy.
Let's hit it.
All right, okay. All right.
There you go.
Good to know. I've got TCU. I've got a ticket in my hands here at TCU plus the points. So that's the way I'm rolling on this game, and I'm hoping that they win. But I think 12.5 is way too many. The way they handled Michigan's offensive line was outstanding. Their defense was great, and if they can do that against Georgia, with as poorly as Georgia played against Ohio State, I think there's every chance that TCU could win the game. Jeff, when football is winding down and the Ontario Fury season is really winding up, we got to have you back on the show and talk more about the Ontario Fury and the indoor soccer there at the arena right there in the Inland Empire. But for now, we're going to let you go. We're going to talk some NFL. We thank you for being on the show.
Lou, no problem. But remember, we rebranded. We're now the Empire Strikers.
Empire Strikers, got it.
I'm sorry, that's my bad. I'm behind the time.
I like that.
The Empire Strikers.
I love that. That's great.
Fantastic. We'll have you back on the show. We'll talk more about it. Thank you, Jeff.
All right, guys.
Thank you, Jeff.
Enjoy. Have a great weekend.
You too.
See ya.
Football.
Oh, that's
all right, I know we want to get into our. I know we want to get.
All right, let's go to NFL.
All right, I know we want to get into our bets, into our playoff pictures, everything for that. But I know Rocky wanted something to say. Can you do it in a minute?
I did it already.
Oh, you did already. All right, we're good. So let's get right into the NFL. Let's get right into the NFL playoff picture.
The NFL, and I want to hear from you, Christian, what the playoff picture is. It's convoluted now.
So I have everything set up right now. So as of right now, with the standings we have, the Chiefs are the number 1 seed, Bills are 2, Bengals are 3, Chargers are 5, Ravens are 6. The only 2 teams that are currently in the hunt if the playoffs ended today is the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Patriots. We all know the Jacksonville Jaguars face off against the Titans for the division. So for them to make it into the playoffs, they would need either a win or a tie to win their division. To make it into that last 7 seed, they would need Miami loss, a New England loss, and a Pittsburgh loss. Tennessee would need a flat-out win to make the playoffs at all. They have no chance of getting into the wild card. The only chance they get of getting in is through their division. After that, we have the Patriots, who are in a dogfight between the Steelers, the Dolphins, and it all comes down to whether they win or lose against the Patriots. Whether the Patriots win or lose against the Bills, and whether the Dolphins beat the Jets. So I think it comes down to it.
The number 1 seed in AFC is determined.
No.
It's the Chiefs. No.
Now, what do you do about that? I don't know. How does that happen? They have to make up that game, right?
The Chiefs would need a Bills
let
loss.
Jeremy get in here.
No,
Jeremy?
if the Chiefs win, they're number 1, straight out.
Yes.
If they beat the Raiders, they're number 1. If the Raiders happen to win that game and then they end up in a tie with the Bills,
have the tiebreaker.
I believe the Bills have the tiebreaker. So Kansas City could lose the game
What
and
is
the Bills
all
win.
this? Did they already say now the AFC Championship game will be played in a neutral site?
It's been very confusing since the situation that happened last Monday. So it's kind of on a year-to-year basis. The NFL posted this very long statement saying no playing Buffalo. The game is canceled. There's no determined winner as of right now. They're giving out possible scenarios, what could happen, about 3 different scenarios. But they did claim one thing, that Cincinnati is the undisputed winner of the NFC North or East, I believe. North, right?
And by the way, that's great for me because one of my preseason bets was Cincinnati to win the division. So I'm going to catch that ticket.
I'm still confused. The Bills played one last game. They should be number 1. It's like handing Kansas City the Super Bowl. All the road to Super Bowl now goes through Kansas City when they're only number 1 because the Bills didn't get to play.
Yeah, well,
the whole thing.
Either way,
all right, hang on. Let's go to the NFC before we do anything else.
All right, I have the NFC right here. So the Eagles are still in the number 1 seed. We have the Niners at 2, Vikings at 3, Bucks at 4, Cowboys at 5, Giants at 6. Now, Right now, it's a 3-team dogfight for the 7th seed between the Seahawks, the Lions, and the Packers. The way this works out for the NFC, let me scroll down. If the Seattle Seahawks win and Green Bay loses, they get that last seed. If Green Bay wins altogether, just they win, they make that 7th seed. If Detroit wins and Seattle loses, they get in.
All right, so let me simplify this for you. The Kansas City Chiefs will be the number 1 seed. They are not losing to the Raiders. So there's that. However, the Green Bay-Detroit game, that's a pick'em to me at this point. Jeremy, what do you think?
Going to be a great game.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great way to end this, season for these two teams. Everyone wants to see the Lions go and see Green Bay, miss the playoffs. At least I do, so I assume everyone else does.
I like to see Aaron Rodgers cry.
Yeah, it's going to be a good game, and I really hope the Lions pull this one out. And I'm kind of hoping, that the Seahawks lose. The only thing I don't want is Green Bay to get that spot. If it goes to Seattle or to the Lions, I'm happy.
That's fine.
I'm right there. I'm right there with you.
I want to see the coach of the Lions walk over, rip the helmet off of Aaron Rodgers' head, and cut his man bun off at the end of the game and shake it.
The man bun that was inspired by trash bags. Yeah, the trash bags with the little bun on top.
Yeah, just cut that man bun right off. It's stupid.
Jeremy, from your lips to God's ears, everybody wants Detroit to win that game, but it's in Lambeau Field, right, Christian? I don't think that's a very tough place for Detroit to go and win. They don't.
Yes, it's in Lambeau. Yes.
Yeah,
but
their
maybe
offense
they
isn't
can
as
pull
good
off,
on the road.
Yeah, they don't travel
but you know
well.
what?
If they were at home, I'd give them a lot better chance. But I think Green Bay wins that one.
I do too.
Green Bay is softer than a pygmy goat's belly. I'll just tell you that.
Well, let's
throw it out there.
Never pet a pygmy goat, so I don't know.
Me neither. So
you've never touched the pygmy goat's belly? They're very soft.
I did not know they had a fuzzy tum-tum.
I didn't know that either. I'm torn between Detroit and Seattle because I want to be right from the preseason. From the preseason, before the season even started. 9-8 was my prediction. 9-8 was my prediction. Just with the wrong quarterback.
Just the wrong quarterback.
Just the wrong quarterback. I said DK Metcalf was going to get over 1,000 yards. He's at 998 right now. I said Seattle was going to sneak into the playoffs in that last seed with 9-8, and I said Drew Lock was going to win most improved and be a Pro Bowler. I just got the quarterback wrong. That's it.
No, it's Gino who improved.
It's Gino,
and you know what? So there you go.
Christian, you didn't get the quarterback wrong. The coach did.
No, but
I
also really want bets. I also really want to make Detroit in there because I love Jared Goff and I love Amon St. Brown. They're a great team. But yeah.
All right.
By the way, a couple of early season bets. I told everybody Chicago under 5.5 wins, Detroit over 5.5 wins, Carolina over 4.5 wins. Those are all coming true. The one that I missed was Raiders over 8.5, and that's not happening. So, yeah,
we all missed on that.
Yeah.
Raiders
are the biggest disappointment this season by far. They were expected
to. We're hoping Green Bay is.
You ain't allowed to say that. You ain't allowed to say that as a Rams
fan. You know what? I'll give you that.
Yeah.
No, but a lot in the playoffs is still very undetermined. We could see a different number 1 seed on both sides on the AFC and the NFC. The Niners, the Cowboys, and the Vikings all have chances to take over that number 1 seed if the Eagles lose.
All right, so let's do a little betting, shall we?
Yes, sir.
Rocky. I've got the New York Giants plus 14 against the Eagles. The Giants are sitting just about everybody. Jalen Hurts is looking like he's going to play. I still love the Giants +2 touchdowns here. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I like the Giants plus the points. I don't know why they would sit everybody in the game. Well, I guess it's a division game for them, right? They want to beat these guys. But
No,
I guess,
it can't change.
Nothing to be gained.
They're
If this doesn't move in the playoffs.
Yeah, they're seeding the playoffs. Can't change.
Their seeding is set.
But I think the Eagles will be very conservative with Jalen Hurts in this game, Jeremy.
They might be. He's coming off an injury. It's you said out a couple of weeks. They're probably thinking that they're going to get the number 1 seed, and they don't want him to get too rusty. They don't want him sitting out 4 weeks before going into a playoff. So my guess is they're going to put him out there with a simplified offense and try to keep him in the pocket a bit more and let him go do his thing. But yeah, not have to sit out until.
For everybody that's wondering what I'm doing, for some reason I'm bleeding from the top of my forehead, and I have no idea why. So that's what
you were taking a nap, and I came over taking a head. But you didn't see the video yet on your security camera.
It was the pygmy goat that did it. I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah, I like New York, the 2 touchdowns as well. Do I think they win this game? Probably not. Do I want them to win this game? Definitely.
New England Patriots +7 at the Buffalo Bills. I'm actually on New England here. I think I think Buffalo wins the game. It's going to be cold. It's crappy weather. I think Buffalo is not going to is going to know before they play this game on Sunday that there's no way. Okay, here's the facts. Kansas City is beating the Raiders. Kansas City then has the number 1 seed wrapped up. If you're the Bills, given what happened last Monday night, do you play your starters? What's the point?
No, if the number 1 seed's wrapped up, and I think you kind of do the same thing. Maybe rest a couple of guys and.
Well, I don't know how the seed's wrapped up. First, Christian opened the show by saying
Kansas City plays the Raiders on Saturday.
They'll play them. They'll play them the day before, so they'll have it determined before then.
Don't count the Raiders out. That Kansas City almost got snaked by Detroit. That game had snake bite all over it. I mean, by Denver.
My bet is predicated on the fact that I believe Kansas City is going to beat the Raiders. Cincinnati Bengals, they have the Ravens.
This is my pick of the week.
Go ahead, Rocky.
That's my pick of the week. The Bengals basically had a bye last week. They took the field. They went down, scored 1 touchdown, came back, and then the game was over. They were at home that game. They've been home for 2 weeks now. They'll be home again this Sunday. They basically got a bye last week. They're rested. They're good. Bengals come out and blow them up. And Bengals gonna make a statement game this week. Big game.
Did anybody else notice the news story about how annoyed John Harbaugh seemed to be with the uncertainty of whether or not and when Lamar Jackson would be able to play, Jeremy?
No, I didn't really see that. I know he's been talking about not sure when he's going to get him back, but I didn't see
well, John Harbaugh is the coach of the Ravens, and he was asked at his weekly presser, well, when is Lamar going to play? How's he progressing? He basically threw his hands up and he said, I don't know.
Really?
I don't know. The doctor Lamar says this. I have no freaking idea. Stop asking.
I don't think he's a Raven next year.
I don't think we ever see him again in a Ravens jersey.
I think they're tired of his injuries and not knowing what to do with this kid.
I think they're going to franchise tag him and then trade him for a good.
They're going to franchise tag him. 100% he gets a franchise tag, no doubt about it.
Yes.
Tag and trade.
So we're all on Cincinnati big in this game then, right?
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, big.
Blow them up.
All right.
30 balls.
Jacksonville against the Titans. I'm of 2 minds on this game, and I'm going to let Rocky pick it first. Go ahead, Rock.
Yeah, I told you Jacksonville would win last week. They'll win this week, and they'll go to the playoffs. They'll host the Chargers and beat them too. Now, there's a scenario that goes on there, but I really like Jacksonville this week in Tennessee. I think they beat them.
Win is one thing. It's -6.5. Win and cover?
Yeah, why not?
Jeremy. Are they 6.5 points better?
6.5.
Are they 6.5 points better than the Titans at home with a third-string quarterback?
Yeah, I think they are. I don't like the Titans in this game at all. And I think they're going two different directions right now. Jacksonville's been looking good and playing better heading into the playoffs. I like them to win by at least a touchdown.
Okay, before I answer this question, who's starting at quarterback?
The third-string quarterback. I don't even know his name.
That guy signed like 2 weeks ago.
Then Jacksonville. I like Jacksonville. If Ryan Tannehill was playing, then
no,
you know
not
what?
Tannehill and not Willis.
I like Jacksonville to cover. If Ryan Tannehill was playing, I would like them to lose, but still cover.
That adds another team. That adds another team that's going to be looking for a starting quarterback because they've soured on. Apparently, the Falcons have already soured on Desmond Ridder, and the Titans have already soured on Malik Willis. So they're both in the quarterback game again. All right, I've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 team teaser. I'm adding 7 points to the following games, and $50 is going to pay me $100 on this. Rocky, Giants plus 21, yes or no?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
And Patriots plus 14, Jeremy, yes or no?
Yeah.
Buccaneers plus 11 at Atlanta, Christian, yes or no?
Buccaneers plus 11, yeah.
Yeah. Vegas Raiders plus 16. Vegas Raiders plus 16 at home, Rocky, yes or no?
Love them.
Trader.
And they're going to play really hard this week. I'm telling you.
Christian, Horned Frogs plus 20 in the national championship game, yes or no?
Horned Frogs, yes, sir.
All right, so if I get the Giants plus 21, Patriots plus 14, Buccaneers plus 11, Raiders plus 16, and Horned Frogs plus 20, if all 5 of those bets cash, my $50 pays me back $400. So,
except for the Bills are going to beat the Patriots by more than 2 touchdowns. That's your save right. That's your loser.
But I got the Patriots plus, but I got the Patriots plus 16, so that's okay as long as it's 15 or less.
We ran out of our.
Take us out, buddy. We're gone.
Thank you, everyone, for listening to Steer the Line. I hope you had a good time listening to us. We'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.
Playoffs, baby. Playoff football.
Are we out early?
Coming up.
Yeah, Sean's already out.
Not early.
All right.
Playoffs.
All right, bye.
All right.
Playoffs.